Hello guys, welcome to my beginner's guide to web API with the ASP.NET Core part 2. Last video we learned the introduction about how to use web APIs and the CRUD operation, likewise things. Today I'm going to teach you how to use this in Visual Studio. So first of all, we will create our project. In the Visual Studio, I'm using Visual Studio 2022. This is Community Edition. So Community Edition is free for everyone. You can download it from the uh, Visual Studio in the Microsoft. I'll put link in my description. So first step is we are creating a new project. So here we are typing ASP.NET Core Web API. So we are choosing this one, ASP.NET Core Web API. This is for ASP Pages one. Keep in mind this is for the AOTs, and there are several of things, model view controllers likewise. So we are choosing this one. Okay, we'll go to next. Here we need to put the project name in here. So here I'm putting this project name as, I'll put task API. I'm using some kind of task in here. So here you can figure it out where's the location for you want. Close this one for now, and we can leave it the solution name as it is, and placeholder project in the same directory. So I'll use that one also. Sorry, I'll leave it like it is. This is my folder path, and I'm creating, and I'm going to next. Here, this is very important. Here we have the rights to, we have possibility to choose whatever the framework. Here I'm using, I can use 6, 7, and now it's updated to 8 also. So this is standard term support. This is long term support. Likewise, they are dividing, so you can choose whatever you want. I'm using the .NET 8 version. This is authentication one. Here I'll explain in later. This is authentication means how to secure your API. So this is a basic introduction for the API, so we don't need the security for that one. And we are not using the Docker, so I'm not ticking this checkbox. I'll leave this checkbox as tick because in the when you are using, we are using the web form, so we need the HTTPS. So I hope you know HTTP is not secure. Secure protocol is HTTPS. So here also enable open API support. This one is earlier we had to download the NuGet package for that one. So now it's coming as in build one. This enable open API support. This one is like we are giving to the documentation or testing for the API. So this one also I'm give the tick, and do not use the top level statement. We don't use the use controls. Yes, we are using control. I'll explain these things in later. For now, keep in mind in the future this dashboard may be different from this one, so we have to adapt. So for now this is the dashboard for the additional information. So I'll create my app in here. Okay, it's taking some time. Okay, perfect. So here you can see the dashboard, and what we can see these things. You can uh, move around and check these ones. What are these? Views, edit, likewise things. I'll show the basic of this one. So here in here, this is the area we are using. By default they are using the HTTPS, so I can use the IIS Express also. So this one is the locally we are running that one. So here we can use our task API also, that means HTTPS, I think. So we'll figure it out. That one is later, for the later. Okay, perfect. This is the running part, and I'll explain the what are these things in the API and walk through of this API project. First of all, we'll run this one. Remember, I told you this one is for the first time, so it will take some time. Remember, we tick a text box like OpenAI or something like that. You remember, right? So I'll explain why we tick that one. Okay, this is the default browser for me. So here, this is the task API one. This is why we check that text box checkbox OpenAI. So that means we can test our API without any issues. So here you can see there is a get method. So we'll open this one. I'll explain this one to you in very simplest way. So because the foundation should be very strong in the API as well as in the coding, then only you can go for higher and very powerful, very complex codings. Okay, so here, as I told you earlier, this is the Swagger we are using. We used to tick that checkbox OpenAI one. So after that one, we don't need any third party tools to check our or test our APIs. So this is default way. So first of all, I'll explain this one. Here there is no parameters. This is the GET request. I hope you remember that CRUD operations. So in here, this is the GET request, and in the responses they are showing responses should be 200. I showed you in the last video. If you couldn't watch that one, please go and watch and come back to the second video. That would be great. So description is success. Here it's coming as plain text. We can put it to the JSON, whatever the format you want. And this is the format, that means the template of the response. So these are schemas, we don't need these things now. So shall we try it now? This is the try it now. For this one we need to press this button. Here we don't need to put any parameters, so we can directly execute this one. So here, perfect, we got the response, and this is the curl like when you, if you want to run using the curl, you can use this way. So this is the request URL. Here this is the request URL, means in the web we are using the request, sending the request. I need this one to the server likewise. So this is the localhost and this is the port for that one, and the web broadcast, this is the web API. The response body, as you can see, this one is coming as a JSON, so it's a key value pair. Remember last video I told you this is coming as a key value pair. Temperature 9 and summer in mild, chilly likewise, freezing likewise, those responses are coming. So I'll explain these things in very further, because we are doing some examples, we are practicing, so we'll have hands-on experience on these things in later. Okay, hope you understand the basic of this Swagger URL and request and response likewise. I forgot to tell you, this one is one chunk of data. Likewise, every chunk is coming, and the status code is 200 likewise. So we'll go back to our project and work through the project. We need to know some uh, solution phases, dependencies, packages, likewise things. So I'll explain this those things to you. We'll go cut this one for now. Here, as you can see, this is our solution name, task API, and here we can check what are the connected services. Currently we don't have any connected services. And here, this is the dependencies in the framework. We can see Microsoft ASP.NET Core app. It's the dependency. We can expand these things. These are the other the dependencies, related dependencies for the ASP.NET Core app. So we'll leave this one. And for the packages, see there's a one package called Swashbuckle. Remember I told you previously we had to install that third-party dependency to the test our APIs likewise. So in new versions, they are uh, directly installing the Swashbuckle for us. So all we have to do is tick the open API one when starting the web API projects. So they will install for us. So that's easy for us. Okay, so here we can see the launch setting dot JSON. We'll open this one. This one also coming as a JSON file. So in the launch setting dot JSON file, as you can see here, we can see ISPs, HTTP, HTTPS, likewise. So same thing we can see here. See, HTTP is here and HTTPS also here, ISPs here. That's means how to launch our task API solution. This is the way we are using the launch setting.json file. So I'll explain in while if we need these things in the future. So we'll leave this as it is now. For a controller, this is the controller we're using. Remember, this is the task API controller. So I'll explain this one in later, and we'll go to next one. This is program app setting.json. This one also we are using for like giving the default informations and other things. I'll explain this one in later. And this is the program file. Here we are using like we are giving the some programs to run to the startup file. So previously those startup file came as separate. Now it's coming as a, all together. It's a as a one file. So I'll explain these things in the future videos, not in the future videos, while using these things. So I'll just going through these things, so telling you how to use these things and what are the purposes of those things. So we are calling this program.cs file as a base file because it is the starting file. So I'll explain these things. First, we'll go to this launch setting.json file. I explained a little bit, but I hope to explain a little bit more on this one. So here you can see there's the name called HTTP. As I told you earlier, this is HTTP is here, and here HTTPS. We can see IIS Express, and there's another one should be there as the project. So we'll leave that on. We'll find that on later. Okay, here as you can see there's a command name .NET run message true, and launch in the browser we are telling as true, and here we can say the application URL. That means if you are using the HTTP, it's using this 5036 port, and in the local host it's running. So if you check the HTTP, then it's running for port 7289 with the HTTP S1. The launch URL is Swagger. So for all three is showing as launch URL as Swagger. So we'll check that. See, as you can see, this is the launch URL. It's coming as Swagger. So if you want to change the launch URL, you can change it. Likewise, putting the slash and whatever we can take Tari, there's any folder or something. Likewise, we can change. Then it will go to that you mentioned you like. edited launch URL, then you can navigate likewise. So that's all for this launch setting. We'll now go to the one. We'll go to the controller. This is the heart of the web API. So previously we saw the run the API and we saw the weather forecast. So those things are coming from here. So I'll explain this one. So as you can see, we are using the Microsoft ASP.NET MVC, and uh, here's a namespace for the task API and controller. We are using these things. I'll explain these things in future videos. API controllers, likewise, we need to put. And here, this is the weather forecast controller. Remember, this one is a naming convention. We need to put this as a controller. Whatever we are using, we can put the controller at the end. This is the naming convention. As other thing is, it's by default it's inherited by the controller base. So we can add the controller like this. Like guys, we go to controller, right click, add is the controller. In here, when we add in the controller, by default they are giving a template for us. So we can edit this template, or otherwise we can take a empty one. So likewise, so here, this is the private read-only method. This is like a freeze, in chili, cool, likewise as we saw in the web API. And this is the iLogger with the forecast on. And this one is HTTP GET. This is the GET request, and it's coming as enumerable one, and the GET value. It's showing only 1 to 5, and date, temperature, summary, likewise it showed. So I saw this one task API. This is the showing as a class. So what do you think about this class? You go to inside this class. This is the class in the weather forecast.cs. This is the model of this our task API. I'll explain these things, how to use these models, controllers, and if you want any views, we can use views for those things. Likewise, using the web APIs. So I forgot to explain this iLogger thing. So as you know, if you have the class name as it is in the method, we are calling it as a constructor. So here the iLogger means it's giving the login support to the constructor. So login support they are giving us, we are calling it injecting. So I'll explain these things. Injecting, for now, just reminder to put into your brain, because this is we are calling dependency injection. For the constructor we are using dependency injection, and we are giving the login support for this API. So previously I forgot to explain this one, that's why I explained. So today for now, I hope you understand how to use these small web APIs. We went through the Swagger, and I explained how to use the Swagger and some template values and by default values in this Visual Studio. I explained everything to you, and I walked through this our task API one. In the next video, I hope to write some APIs and run and check, and we need to test. Likewise, we need some more experience, hands-on experience on those things. Then only we are getting very sharp. So until next time, happy coding.